bench in Brooklyn. Ime Udoka, now the head coach in Boston. Likewise for the Lakers, Frank Vogel can't turn to Jason Kidd anymore because he's the new head coach in Dallas.
Exactly. So it's a lot of fun for all the changes. But I just think if both teams stay healthy, it should be a fun season.
All right, let's get to it. We've got basketball on TV here in October. Let's start the season. DeAndre Jordan ready to jump for the Lakers in their Sunday white. Bill McDonald, Stu Lance are on the call for the Nets and the Lakers.
Season starts in the post.
You know, Frank said he's going to listen to his veterans. However much time they need to get into the preseason is how much they're going to play. It will be dictated by the players. And here we go. Kendrick Nunn, who actually played against the Lakers, you might recall in the finals bubble when he was with Miami a couple of years ago. You alluded to one big game that he had and the first turnover. And there will be many in the preseason, as there always are, and it belongs to THT.
Well, no, you don't call it illegal screen on AD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't really stay stationary. Got contact and on the move, and they call that pretty consistently in this league.
Well, we're thrilled to be back. As I mentioned, protocols still in place, but not as stringent as obviously last year, and I think everybody is happy about that. The players have, to a man, talked about how it just feels a little more freer this year already this season. But again, the vaccine drama has hit this team, Brooklyn, with Kyrie Irving, and how that will play out. Count it! And one. AD gets the first bucket of the exhibition campaign.
I've said it many times, even before Anthony Davis became a Laker, he's got so many different ways that he can hurt you offensively. The guy has great handles, even a good passer, can pull up from the mid-range, got a long ball, obviously the post-up. He's just a tough cover.
Missed a ton of games last year, as mentioned. In fact, the fewest games he played in a season in his career, just 36 games. His previous low was 56. And both these teams bounced out of the playoffs earlier than they expected. Lakers by Phoenix, who eventually went to the finals, and AD's injury contributed to that. And of course, injuries hit Brooklyn hard, and they lost to the eventual champions, Milwaukee, and they were this close to actually beating them and moving on themselves. AD. Of course, we'll see how his range is extended this year again. Horton Tucker, baseline to Nunn. Good feed under to DJ, and he gets fouled, and we'll see DeAndre Jordan at the free throw line for the first time as a Laker. There's Frank, third season. Great percentage at nearly 66%, and a championship under his belt. And Steve Nash, who had a cup of coffee, obviously, with the Lakers, but he will be remembered as a Hall of Fame player with Dallas and Phoenix.
Yeah, his cup of coffee was really shortened because he got that inadvertent knee to the knee area and never did recover from that. One of the contributing reasons why he is, or he had to retire early.
And again, the year that he had to manage last year with the coming together of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, when it worked, it looked great. And they obviously were nearly unstoppable offensively. And, you know, when you put that unit and everybody else that they had on the roster last year together, they played decent defense too. But they've had some turnover. Shamit's not here. Green has moved on. Here's Carter in the air. And there is Aldridge, who's made a living with some mid-range magic. And that's going to be knocked around underneath. It'll belong to the Brooklyn Nets.
Good work on the glass by Millsap. Did a great job of stepping around and getting onto the glass and forced the ball to go off the knee of THT.
Well, this Brooklyn team has been in Southern California, specifically San Diego, as we see Kyrie. They had their bonding session, a little bit of a short training camp down in San Diego, and they will be flying home after this one. One of the reasons why we've got an early start tonight, or today. And we're going to get a foul in the lane, and should be free throw time. It'll be DeAndre Bembry going to the line.
Again, offensive rebounding. That time the Lakers didn't put a body on him, and he went along the baseline and gets fouled on the tip attempt. So he'll be at the line to shoot two.
Bembry, last season, played with Toronto, 6th year. Career highs in field goal percentage and free throw percentage last season. And he wears that number 95 in honor of his late brother, who was tragically killed right before the 2006 draft. He was born in 1995, his brother, so thus he wears the 95.
Wow, missed 2 free throws, so both teams start out ice cold from the free throw line. Both of them missing a pair.
First minutes of the 75th season of the NBA preseason, and these two teams will be in action on opening night on October the 19th. Brooklyn will get Milwaukee in Milwaukee. Lakers will host Golden State. Aldridge, there's that mid-range game that has been on display his entire career for the L Train.
Yeah, but the L Train did a good job of extending his offense to the three-point line when it became popular, and so he's a threat from there as well.
Let's do so many similarities between these rosters with the veteran-laden team sprinkled with some youth. A lot of big names on both teams. Very deep rosters. Carter, little hippity-hop with the dribble. Going to be picked up by DJ on the switch. As we're 2.5 minutes into this first one, Bembry, little back pass. That's going to be taken by Millsap. He gets into the key, tries to get around AD. Down goes Millsap. They play on.
Almost got called for the offensive foul using that left arm to keep Anthony Davis away.
Defense has been a forte, of course, of Davis throughout the course of his great career. THT distance going to come up short. The rebound to Millsap.
And that's what THT is going to have to really do this year, is make perimeter shots, because the book is out now. They realize that he loves to get into the paint.
Yeah, he does.
They're going to force him to take more and more from the perimeter.
Well, and Frank expects him to be a defensive stopper to really assert himself, and he's come in much trimmer. That's nothing but net from the outside, and knocking it down is Bruce Brown. He re-signed with the Nets back in August. Underneath, thrown up. No, they battle for it. Down to the ground goes Bazemore. And we got a whistle and a foul in the backcourt.
Yeah, that foul's on DeAndre Jordan. Might have been a good foul because Bazemore had fallen to the floor, and so they had a man advantage.
All right, what's Kent going to bring this team on his second tour of duty with the Lakers?
Again, another guy that can play some defense. Good slasher. We talked about his three-point shooting. I said he was a little inconsistent, but he can knock down some shots. But his all-around game is what is going to help the Lakers.
24 games for the Purple and Gold back in 2014. Brown, who was in the regular rotation during the playoffs, they double up Aldridge in the corner. 3 to shoot, so it's fired up and down it goes. That's Javon Carter.
He shot the ball the few times that he got an opportunity with Phoenix.
AD lays it off for DJ, of course, was starring in this building for many years when Lob City was front and center with the Clippers, although they never, ever made it out of the second round while that group was together. And one of his Lob City mates, Blake Griffin, will be on the roster again this year for Brooklyn. And what a rejuvenation it was for Blake last year after he moved over to Brooklyn. That's off.